even though he's British, really. So Bismarck is this modern, incredibly savvy statesman who's also a bit of a shyster and a trickster. He has this four-part plan for uniting the German states. He wants Prussia to supply the necessary leadership, which kind of makes sense. He's Prussian. He's happy with his guy. He doesn't want to see anybody else in charge. He wants to see Prussia leading the way. The second thing he wants to do is he wants German nationalism to really kind of rally around this leader. So the idea of seeing your ruler as this sense of national pride, just kind of like the British are so proud of their monarchy, even though the monarchy doesn't do a whole lot of actual job other than show up for magazine shows. Third part, Austria is going to be isolated, eventually kicking them out so they have no competition. Get rid of your biggest competition. And then he's going to gain military power, or use his military power, to accomplish those first three pieces. So he winds up going to civil wars. These wars are designed to make Germany into a country and also a world power. So make Germany a country and a world power. The first war is going to be against Denmark. He needs land on the North Sea because he needs to be able to build a strong army. This is a blitzkrieg. That's where Hitler gets that idea. It's a quick, surprising war, and the Prussians are going to win. After that war with Denmark, he almost immediately is going to begin his war against Austria. The goal is to get Austria kicked out of that German governmental confederation. This works. There's going to be a new confederation created with Prussia in charge of it. They allow some states to go with Austria in order to kind of stop them from this revenge concept. It's like, oh, okay, here's a bone, so you leave us alone. The third one's probably my favorite. He needs something that ties the German people together as a country. He needs them to be like kind of flag-waving patriotism going. But it's not going to work when they're so split along religious lines. So they need a common enemy. And he decides that common enemy is going to be France. So he starts to spread this lie throughout Prussian-controlled territory that Napoleon III, remember Napoleon III is the leader of France after the Congress of Vienna, saying that the German king, Wilhelm, is too uncivilized and stupid to run a country. Then in France, so the German people are all like, dude, you're spreading a bunch of crap about my guy, and they got kind of aggravated. But then he spreads another lie in France. He sends agents to France to spread this lie that Germany is gearing up to attack. The goal here is to get France in a position to where they attack first. Because if France attacks first, then from the rest of the world's perspective, Germany is only defending itself. So it's kind of like like that kid who's all up in some other kid's face and then whines and cries because the other kid threw a punch first. It's like, well, dude, you started it. Bismarck starts it. He's just not the first one to throw a punch. And the French are going to fall for it. This is called the Franco-Prussian War. The lies work. France is going to attack Germany first. This motivates the German people to totally unite against a common enemy. This is what we see as nationalism. By the end of the war, Napoleon III has been captured as a prisoner, and the French are forced to pay war reparations. These are really stiff war reparations. This is where the idea of France totally, and the rest of Europe, totally trouncing on Germany after World War I. So remember that, because that's not that far in the future. So the war reparations that France has to pay. They have to pay Germany $1 billion. And keep in mind, this is like 1900. 1880s. 1870s, 1880s. So the French have $1 billion. $1 billion today, I could live off that pretty well. But $1 billion back then is insane. Germany also is going to gain control of that Alsace-Lorraine area along the Rhine River. The big deal about this is where all the industry and mining is. This is where France makes its money in this new industrialized world. By taking that away, it took away France's ability to even possibly pay those war reparations. The war is effective and united Germany underneath those Prussians and helps make Germany an industrial power. So they've got the attention of the world after this. In 1871, Germany is going to unite. Bismarck becomes the first chancellor. The first Kaiser is Wilhelm I, and we have kind of the start of Germany as a country, 1871. So they're not that old. All right, first time you've been right in a while, so pay attention. So Prussia proves that. Prussia proves that a country with a well-equipped army can kick some serious butt. Prussia had based its army on the use of conscription, which is a mandatory draft. Now, he got this idea from the American Civil War. Everybody goes in the draft. You wind up with, doctors that get drafted, lawyers that get drafted. You don't get just the poor in this scenario. You get everybody. So you have a wide variety of skills, and it all works together. The result of this is that every military country in Europe starts to use this idea. It's pushing close to 1900, and the German emperor is going to start an arms race with England. It gets so bad that the 400% increase in the budget, defense budget, basically means war is going to be likely. It's an armed camp, is what we say, and nobody can maintain this kind of spending. So Bismarck needs to make sure that there's a peace so that Germany has time to grow. He does this by organizing the first, what we call modern peacetime alliances. In the past, and some of your friends might talk about how teachers are requiring them to know this. I just want you to understand that it's an us versus them. This idea of alliances in Europe kind of grows out of Bismarck and the unification of Germany. Bismarck's goal is to isolate France because they just took a bunch of stuff. They want to make sure France can't fight them to get stuff back. This is going to lead to the second age of imperialism. Imperialism happens, the definition of imperialism, is when a large country conquers a smaller one for the purpose of expanding and exploiting. So again, a large country conquering a smaller one for the purpose of expanding and taking advantage. Okay, there have been two major points of this in world history. You had the Age of Exploration, which we talked about, to about the year 1800. Then you have the Age of Revolutions, and it stopped being cool to have colonies. Then you have the 1880s. We are going to be talking next week about the second age of imperialism. So Age of Exploration is the first period. 1880s is the second period. And we're going to stop here. We've got 16 minutes, and that's